I mean, it's not great. It's not a great topic to cover, but it's not terrible either. It's more of an interesting piece. Fantastic Four rumors. Right, few things to get through with this.
Or
this initially comes to us from Grace Randolph, but then was Daniel. No, wait. It comes to us from Grace Randolph, but then Daniel Richtman, RPK, tweeted the exact same thing. And I don't mean the exact. I mean literally the wording was exactly the same. So I've done a video about this, and I highlighted that as a weird discrepancy because it is weird. And we'll just check this out, right? Here's what.
So what kind of dumb shit did Grace say this week?
Just get a video for that.
We'll put it together.
This is what was said. Also, I hear the most recent draft of Fantastic Four has them coming from not just the 1960s, but also different universe than the main MCU. So that's what she said. And then I hear the most recent draft of the Fantastic Four has them coming from not just the 1960s, but also a different universe than the main MCU.
Wait a minute.
That's weird, isn't it?
Did they steal my fucking idea and just run with it like it's a fucking rumor?
Well, I don't know.
Do you remember
2 days ago? Isn't that weird?
I'm trying to remember which stream I said it on, but I'm like, what they should do with this.
It was ours Thursday.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I went like they should just
edited
reboot the whole fucking thing with the Fantastic Four. Started in the 60s, introduced the X-Men that way. Then that way you got the X-Men through the 60s and 70s. Then you introduce like the Hulk and Iron Man and do it that way. Yeah,
but they're not actually doing that.
Captain America and shit. Yeah,
yeah, but they're not actually. So what this is that apparently they're going to be in the 1960s, but then pulled into our timeline in the present.
No, we already did that.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible. All right, let's break this down into 2 separate discussion pieces. We'll talk about the idea in a minute. Isn't this weird that they posted the same thing? Is it just me that thinks that's weird?
Think either... Okay, here's what I think happened. What's the time difference?
22 minutes. Daniel RPK posted it after Grace Randolph.
Then he's just copying Grace Randolph.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I thought.
That's what that is. Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to the rumors then. That's dog shit, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. That's sloppy, and that's very emotionally needy as far as social media goes.
I'm not surprised though if that's the plan, because that's similar to things we've heard in the past, and that's where I said that's dumb. Just keep them in the past for now. Like they just need to start fresh.
All right, so which issue are we handling first related to this?
She's fresh. She's so fresh. Exciting. She's so exciting to me.
What?
Some song.
What are you doing? That's a song?
Yeah, back in the day. You're too young.
Well, what do we think about this anyway?
Well, normal Grace bullshit. What do you mean?
Well, no, what if it's real? What if that is a real thing? They are just.
I'm not going to say it's not real because I've heard similar things too. So
okay, well, if it's real, good. Then they won't have to change it for a bullshit Maloney sausage modern audience. Just leave in all.
But they will though, because
they will the
timeline. That's the point. That's the rubbish part of it.
Well, I was
trying oh my God! By setting it in the 60s, just imagine Invisible Girl is going to be like Angela Davis with a big old fro.
You already know she's going to be black.
Why wouldn't it be? And then they won't be the fantastic. It won't be the fantastic.
Why wouldn't it be? Yeah, fair point.
They wouldn't be the fantastic.
Like, is there any other way?
They'd be the Fantastic Four.
They're Mexican, are they?
No, they'll be Black Panther 4. There'll be like a 4.
You say Reed Richards started the Black Panthers. Yeah. Oh, I mean, we already know that, Flame On is going to have a whole different kind of meaning in this movie already.
They'll have a secret handshake. 4.
Flame On.
Oh, my God. Fuck's sake.
I'm Johnny Storm.
This movie's doomed, surely. Like they
Doctor Doomed.
Yeah, this is not going to be good. I don't think it's going to be good by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, how many different directors and writers have they had down on this project?
Oh, quite a few now. I think there's been multiple directors, multiple writers at this point.
Way to go, Darren. Way to go, Darren.
Love it. Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
But I don't like this idea anyway, because if they start in the 1960s, and for this to work, for me to be happy from a narrative perspective, you'd have to stay in the 1960s for the entirety of the movie, and it'd be the next movie that they come into our timeline. Because the thing about moving people out of time is that you need moving people out of time is a MacGuffin to introduce emotional elements, and because it's the Marvel universe, sort of fun comedic elements, like, oh, we didn't know this was a thing. But I'm not going to care about that unless I know these people. No one's going to give a shit about this unless you're a child, because most adults want to have sort of an emotional connection. They want to be on this journey with these people first. So if they just go, first 20 minutes we're in the 60s, then bang, slapstick adventure in the modern time. Fuck that.
We've already got it twice now, and that's what bothers me with this. We've already had it with Captain America, and we've already had it with Thor.
Well, with Fantastic Four specifically, is that are they going to let Reed Richards be a lot older than? I mean, come on.
I doubt it.
I mean,
he'll be a lot darker. That's for sure.
I think you're probably not wrong, to be fair.
I know. But no,
the thing is, the Fantastic Four should be the easiest property of the Marvel Universe to do and do right. There's so much. I mean, but it's a character family-driven story, frankly, and I don't know if Hollywood has the ability to do that within the superhero genre, because that's really what it's about. If you've read all the Fantastic Fours over the years, the best of it is usually about them sticking together. That sort of family element. They're not like Fast and Furious,
Marvel,
but I mean, literally that has to shine through. Additionally, you've got the romantic side of things that has to come into play. I don't know if they're going to let that play out, but in terms of storylines, villains, plots, there's so much there that is familiar. And even if you haven't read the books, anyone that's walking into it new will there's just so many stories that they could draw on, and it should be literally a guaranteed slam dunk home run, hitting that goal across the pitch from the halfway mark of the pitch. I mean, there's no reason not to this ball shouldn't be in the net.
No, I agree, and I disagree though, Nate, about moving him out of time. Right? Like, I think the only person who should be out of time should be Captain America. And then
I'm not saying they should be out of time.
No, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I disagree that they should even do it in this one.
I'm saying the only way, if they are going to do that,
I get it, because you want to see
good, is to keep them there for the first movie and then pull them out of time, because otherwise I'm just not going to give a shit.
No, and
I'm not going to give a shit anyway, bearing in mind. But yeah.
And that's my thing. I'm more just keep them where they're at. You can advance the story through time. Yes. And that's what I said. Once you get to the 70s, that's when you bring back Cap and all that stuff. Because I'd rather see him come back in the era of Vietnam, because that's where the comics took place. Right. And that was more poignant, and it made more sense where he left, where World War II compared to what, Vietnam was, and how he reacted differently to that war. Like, that's the thing, is that's an element that they never explored. The X-Men throughout the 60s and 70s is another great element to explore. And then the X-Men then can be your bridge into the 80s, which is when you bring in, like, Tony Stark and the Hulk and all that kind of stuff, like I said. And you can do this in various ways, and you've already got a shit ton of story to tell. And why not reset the universe with the first family of Marvel? It's where the Civil Universe really kicked off, or Silver Age of Comics really kicked off anyway. So start there. That's what everybody said from the start, is why not with the Fantastic Four? So,
well, because they're not very smart, quite frankly.
Because they couldn't until now.
Yeah, well, yeah, true. That as well.